coming to you with my cloth diapering in newborn. It's pretty much going to include some tips and tricks that worked for us and some things that I wish we would have known. Now, Catalina was born at 7 pounds even, dropped down to about 6 pounds 4 ounces, and is now up to probably between 10 and 11 pounds. We haven't weighed her lately, so we aren't really sure. But basically, this is going to be what worked for us with a baby in those weight ranges, and she's on the slender side, slender build, slender legs. We started off with these diapers, which are the Little Bee Company. And I loved them before she was born because of how adorable they are. They're super tiny. They have the snap down for the umbilical cord, and they're all-in-ones. So it was very simple. It was a good way to get my husband on board with wanting to cloth diaper. But in all honesty, they really didn't work for us. Because they are snaps, we had a hard time finding just the right size for her. They're also very, very tiny. So even though she was very little, there's not a huge rise to them, so she outgrew them pretty quickly. We found she did have leaks because of not fitting her the tightest as well. They did pretty well at containing the explosive poos that she has because of the leg gussets though. And for that reason, this one came to me as an added one when I ordered the others. They were used and it had a broken snap. So since I don't have a snap machine, I put hook and loop on. It's not a pretty sewing job, but this was actually our favorite diaper because we could adjust it nice and tight in those in-between spots because it was Velcro. So this one was our favorite one out of the three, even though it wasn't pretty. This was another one that I had ordered, which is a Fuzzy Buns extra small, and it's a pocket diaper because this goes inside the pocket. This is more the microfiber insert, which is pretty absorbent. The problem we have found with this one, again, is it is a snap. So even though it has 2 snaps, so you would think you could get a nice tight fit, in the waist we did find, I think, the waist fit a little better, but the legs, because it doesn't have a gusset, left her very gappy in the beginning. We are able to use this one now though, but I still am leery of it because of the leaks and problems we had in the beginning. We also started off with wool diapers. If you've watched my other videos, I'm sure this looks familiar because I showed all the wool covers I had made. It's basically wool, double layered through the soaker zone, and I put gussets on it. I was using to begin with, or we were using to begin with, pre-folds that I had made. I made them to fit the newborn size from Green Mountain Diapers website, their dimensions. I went off of that. And this one is a double layer flannel with terry cloth in the middle. And this one is just multiple layers of terry cloth with a fleece on the sides. Now, neither one of these worked super great. So pretty quickly we ordered true pre-folds because the ones I made just were not very absorbent. So for me, I don't recommend my made pre-folds, but maybe other people have had better luck. Although I've heard what seem to be the best are just buying cotton pre-folds. We have not tried hemp. I've heard great things about hemp and bamboo being extra absorbent, but these are just cotton. I ordered these brand new off of a forum, but I am not aware of the brand. They are 4 by 8 by 4s, which means there's 4 layers here and 8 layers in the middle. These have been absolutely wonderful paired with the covers. Using the wool cover, at first I wasn't sure how it was going to work because of the problems we were having with just the pre-folds I made not being absorbent enough. We were using pins with the pre-folds, but after poking myself numerous times, I decided we needed to move on to snappies. Which I'm not sure what, right there. Here is snappy. And if you want to know more about snappies, I did do a review on the snappy and a generic brand. But basically, you just put the baby in, fold them around the baby, and snappy them in place and put a cover on. We only had wool covers to begin with, and I've loved the wool. It's very, very easy. Usually after maybe a heavy wet or maybe an explosive poo diaper, sometimes they get dirty on the cover. And if it gets poop on the cover, basically we'd take a washcloth and wipe it off. If it's just urine on the cover, we would let it sit out to dry because of the wonderful agencies in wool. It's antimicrobial, so it's self-cleaning to a certain extent. When they start stinking or not being absorbent, or if you get leaks, then I would recommend washing them. Typically every 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe once a month even. We've washed these twice. I've washed them twice, that's it. And she's 8 weeks old, so about once a month we've had to wash them. And we had, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 in our rotation. We really found, mainly we were just using 2 or 3. So for wool, you do not need very many covers because if they're wet, you just leave them out to dry, unlike the pull covers or PUL. That brings me to the next thing I bought was a pull cover. This is a Pro Wrap, and it has the leg gussets, and this is newborn size. It has the dip for the umbilical cord, so had we used it on her when she had her umbilical cord, it would have probably worked for that. We did not, however. She was too little when, or she was too big when we got this. Her umbilical cord was gone, and she was probably 5 or 6 weeks old. We've only had this a couple weeks, and I like it well enough. It's contained everything very well. It's been a great diaper. It's just not super cute, but very, very functional. The pull works what it's supposed to do. Another cover that I bought some of were the Thirsties Duo, and this is the size 1, which is 0 to 9 months or 6 to 18 pounds. And it has different snaps so you can adjust the rise. I just got these in a week ago, so she's already on that first, or sometimes if you don't want to snap it at all, it's just big on her, but you could do that. The one downfall I found to these is when you pull to put the diaper on, it comes unsnapped quite easily. They hold well, but if there's any resistance, it does come unsnapped. I do like because they are hook and loop, and they are actually a nice wider hook and loop than what I used on my wool diapers. So I think I'm going to be looking into getting the wider hook and loop because I do like the way that fits nice. They have the leg gussets as well, which help contain the explosive poos. All in all, those have been great covers. I have them in quite a few different colors, so super cute as well as functional. The thing I'm not liking about pull covers is that they stink very quickly. One time of peeing and getting any urine on the pull, they stink. We usually can go maybe 3 or 4 diaper changes before we do switch out covers, but that means that we are going through more of these covers. We are now to the point of washing our diapers every other day, but we go through easily 5 or 6 covers in that time period because they stink. So I'm not crazy about that, whereas with the wool, if it's just urine in there, very easy, you just lay them out, they dry out, and they don't stink. So I'm loving that about wool. We only ordered a dozen pre-folds. I wasn't crazy about the idea of pre-folds don't grow with you, and I wanted something inexpensive that is going to work for a long time. So I actually broke down and bought some flats, which is just one big square of fabric. These are cotton, and you just fold them different ways. And as the baby grows, you fold them different ways to fit. I honestly didn't think I would like flats because of how old school they are and that you have to fold them more, and I didn't think Clint would be on board with it, but he's not as crazy about the flats as the pre-folds. He likes the pre-folds better, but he's getting used to folding the flats and actually hasn't complained for quite a while now, so I think he's got the hang of it. I found they both work really well absorbency-wise and containing poo-wise. I would say the pre-folds are probably a little more absorbent and seem to contain the poo a little bit better, but in all honesty, we haven't had blowouts or anything with really either one. There's been a couple times we've had huge, humongous explosive poos, and it has come out, but that was pretty much going to happen either way. We've had her in disposables and had the few times we've had her in disposables, she's had issues and leaked out or exploded out of those as well. So it's bound to happen, but we've had very few with the flats and pre-folds. Here's the pocket diapers that are the one size, meaning that they'll grow with her. We have not tried these on her yet. This is a Kula Baby brand, and they're just way too big. We're not at that point. This is set on the smallest snap setting there. The rise still is huge. Through the legs, through the crotch, that is huge. I don't know when she's going to be in these, but at least we've got the flats and the pre-folds until then. Also, what I've got here is I made our own cloth wipes. I did not want to jump into cloth diapering without doing cloth wipes as well, because it all seems to go hand in hand. Why would you have disposable wipes that you have to throw away when you are going to be washing the diapers, and you will have to have a separate container for your disposable wipes? Where using cloth, they all go in the laundry together. These are double layer of flannel that I've sewn. I've made lots of them. I think we have probably at least 30, and that is plenty to make it through the 2 days till laundry time without ever running out. We also sometimes use these in the diaper when we have used baby powder or vitamin A and D ointment on her. If she's had a little bit of a red butt or just it's looking a little irritated down there, we put in one of these right against her, and then when you put the cream on her, it doesn't get on the diaper. Or I know people are not crazy about baby powder because of health issues, but we always make sure we sprinkle it away from her so the dust does not get in her face and she doesn't inhale it. But I am a big fan of the powder. It seems to get her dry really quick and keep the moisture away. And we put that on her and put this up against her. Or I've made some of these little liners. It does the same thing, but when we're short on the liners or don't have one handy, we can put one of her wipes in, same thing. So it doesn't build up a residue on her pre-fold or flat or her diaper. You don't want buildup of creams. I know there's certain ointments you can buy that are cloth diaper safe, but why spend the extra money when we can just put a liner in and protect them as well. Now here I have a spray bottle. This just has water in it, and this is what we use for the wipes. We just have one upstairs, one downstairs, and a little one for her bag, so that when we're on the go we can still cloth diaper. Basically we just squirt it a few times and wipe away, put that in with the dirty diaper, and it goes in a diaper pail, in a wet bag. And then on laundry day we just do the laundry. I know that most people say you can wash breast poo in the dishwasher. I don't think so. In the washer, but I wasn't liking how gunked up it seemed to be in the washing machine. So what we've been doing is spraying and scrubbing down her diapers. We have a sprayer for our toilet, but also just a good old-fashioned scrub brush. Works really well. We scrub in all the poo off, and it helps loosen it, break it up, and it's not getting clogged up in our washer then. I think that's pretty much everything. We have diapers upstairs and downstairs. We have a setup that kind of looks like all this, or like how the beginning was, just we keep covers handy, we keep pre-folds and flats handy, and like I said, we have the sprayer up and down, and we just change her diaper as needed. If we had a one-level house, we probably only have it set up in one spot, but because we've got a two-level house, it's just easiest to have it right where we are going to need it. So that's pretty much everything that's worked for us. What I would recommend is getting pre-folds and or flats and some sort of cover, whether it be a pole cover or a wool cover, and going that way. It's the most economical. It's been really super easy to use. I was worried at the ease of use, but in all honesty, it worked out really well. And for me, in our experience, I would recommend hook and loop over the snaps. And maybe as she gets bigger, we will like the snaps better, but for now, we are liking hook and loop, snappies, and covers, and preferably wool covers. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will try to answer them. We also have 3 fitted diapers. They are all flannel. These 2 have layers of terry cloth and fleece on the inside. This one it has hook and loop closure with laundry tabs, and this one has no closure, so it needs a snappy or pins to close it. And this one is hook and loop closure, but it's just 2 layers of flannel with a pocket, so that you can add whatever kind of absorbent material you want in there. This one has a flat in it, and it works out really well because the flat's super absorbent, but this with the elastic and hook and loop keeps it nice and tight. What I don't like about these kind of diapers are that they're very bulky. As you can see, it's kind of got a lot of pad to it, a lot of bulk, and that's on its own. It would also need a pole cover or a wool cover, some sort of cover to go over it to keep the moisture from getting on the clothes. So you add that in, and then it's just all the more bulky. I'm just not crazy about them, and we've rarely used them because of how padded and bulky it makes her look. So I'm not a big fan of them. What I'm a big fan more of are the pre-folds and flats because they give a lot more of a trim look, but these are probably something we would send to a sitter or to Grandma and Grandpa, although she's never left us yet, but those would be a lot easier use for other people watching her. Here is some pictures of Catalina in her diapers. She's 6 days old here. In this one, she's 3.5 weeks old. In this one, she's 5.5 weeks old. And in all of these, she is exactly 7 weeks old. Here she's in a flat. And in this one, she's in a skirty, which is made out of wool. And here she is 8.5 weeks old in a soaker, which I didn't talk about.